All right, so here we go. You ready? Write this problem down. We're going to factor it. Write it down. Remember, we're trying to get it back into the form of two binomials. All right, I like steps. Do you like steps? Okay, if you follow the steps, it works every time, right? All right, so here's step one. Do we all agree that if I were looking at this in terms of ax squared plus bx plus c, a is 3, b is 11, and c is 6? Do we all agree with that? Okay, so step one, multiply a term and c term. Okay, we're going to multiply the a term and the c term. All right, you ready? So here we go. Now I'm going to color code it for you because color coding works very well for me. All right, here we go. So I'm going to take my 3 and my 6 and I'm going to multiply them. What is 3 times 6? 18. Do we all agree with that? Okay. So I got 18. We all good? Now, step 2. You ready? Step 1 was pretty easy. Do we all agree? So far, so good? All right. Step 2. Moving right along. List the factors of the product of A and C. So in this case, my product of A and C is 18. Okay? I need to list the factors of 18. We good? So let's list our factors. You ready? 1 and 18. Everybody agree? 2 and 9. Do we all agree with that? 3 and 6. So far, so good? Now, think back to the problem we did just a second ago. How did we get that middle term? Because remember, we're working backwards. How did we get that middle term? We added the 2 in the middle, right? To get 11. Everybody agree with that? So our step 3 okay, our step 3 is to find the product. No, erase that word, not product. Find the factor combination that adds to B. Okay, so we want to find the factor combination that adds to get us B. All right, so which factor combination would add to get us B? 1 and 18, 2 and 9, or 3 and 6? 2 and 9. So circle it. 2 and 9. So that's our factor combination. Okay, those are going to be the 2 in the middle. Everybody agree with that? So this is what we ended up with a while ago, right? So the step above that, okay, is what we're going to call step 4. and it's what we call split the middle. Okay, split the middle. All right, and here, because I'm splitting this 11 into a 2 and a 9. All right, does that make sense? Because remember a while ago, I had, what was it, 6x squared plus 19x plus 10 maybe, right? And so then before that, I had 6x squared plus, I don't remember what it was. Do y'all remember what it was?
14 and 5.
14 and 5? Okay, everybody remember doing that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we're going to do now. We're going to split the middle. So I'm going to start with my 3x squared. That's not going to change. Okay, I'm going to start with my 3x squared. But now instead of writing 11x, guess what I'm going to write? And it's I'm adding it, right? So plus 2x plus what? 9x. And I'm going to keep my plus 6. Everybody okay with that? That's what I mean by splitting the middle. I'm going to take that term and I'm going to split it into these two numbers. Everybody okay with that? Yes or maybe? So far so good? All right, so then step 5. I'm going to group my terms. Okay, I'm going to group my terms. Because remember, my goal is to try to get my 2 binomials, right? So I'm going to group my terms. And I'm going to group my terms, these two grouped together. And include this symbol right here. Okay, include the symbol. And these get grouped together. So far, so good? Next step, you ready? Step 6. I'm going to factor out the GCF. This is why it's important that you know how to factor out the GCF. We're going to factor out the GCF. You ready? So let's look at the first one. In my first one, what can factor out of 3x squared plus 2x? What can come out of there? An x, right? Everybody agree? Nothing's coming out of the 3 and the 2. But an x can come out of both terms. Everybody agree? All right, so I'm pulling out an x. Here we go. The x gets pulled. What stays in? Okay, the 3x stays in, right? Everybody agree? And then the plus 2 stays in. Does everybody agree with that? Right? So far, so good? All right. What can be pulled out of a positive 9x and a positive 6? A what kind of 3? A positive 3, right? So a 3's coming out. What's staying in? A 3x, right? Oh, wrong color. A 3x is staying in, right? Oh, still wrong color. A 3x would be staying in, and then what else would be staying in? A plus 2, right? Don't care that it's wrong color. We all good with that? Now, what do you notice about this?
They both have 3x.
What else? They're the exact same. Do we all agree those are the exact same? So once you pull out your greatest common factor, you want what's left in each of them to be the same. Alright? So here's how we get our two binomials. Our first binomial is going to be everything that we pulled out. It's going to be x and then plus 3, because that's a positive 3. Everybody agree with that? The second binomial is going to be what's left inside. What's left inside? 3x plus 2. And those are our two binomials. Okay? Now, how can we check that? Distribute it back out and see if you end up with what you started with. So if I take my x plus 3 and my 3x plus 2, take that on your way when working real quick, and then distribute that out. X times 3x is 3x squared. Distribute that back out on your white when working. And what should happen when you do that? You should get what you started with initially, which is 3x squared plus 11x plus 6. Did you? Is that what you got? When you put them all together, is that what you get? Okay. Does that make sense? Yes, no, or maybe?